everyone, it's Laura. Today we are going to make these really cute little pencil jars. So I'm going to take all the pencils out so that you can actually see it. So inside is a little half pint ball jar. I bought these at Walmart. They came in a pack of 12, I believe. So that fits right inside. So that's the top. And then here are the sides. So you can, of course, glue the little flaps down. Like that. I chose to leave them up because I like the way it looks from this angle. So this is what we're going to make today. Here are the things that we're going to need. Going to, of course, need your half pint jar. I'm going to take that and set that aside so it doesn't keep rolling around. You are going to need a piece of cardstock that is 6.5 by 10.5. This is going to be the body of it. I have the scoring information here, but I will bring it up closer when it comes time to score so that you can see it. You're going to need 2 circles. I have a 3-inch circle and a 2.5-inch circle. The 3-inch circle is just a little bit too big, and the 2.5-inch circle is just a little bit too small. However, if you have like a 2 3/4-inch circle, that would work perfectly. You'll need 2 of those. I don't, so I'm going with the 3-inch and the 2.5-inch. And you'll see why as we're going through and making this. You're going to need 6 flowers or whatever type of decorations you want on the little flaps here. So I have my 6 flowers already made. And you're going to need 6 mats to go along the sides. So I have 6 of them here. These are 1 3/8 by 3.5. Now, if you have, or if you are using pattern paper that has a very distinct pattern to where you can see where they connect up, then when you cut these, you need to make sure that you keep them in order. So I don't think anybody's really going to notice whether or not these ones get out of order, but if you have a very obvious pattern on your little strips here, you want to keep them in order. In order to make things a little faster for the video, I have pre-taped some of my pieces here, just so that you're not watching me tape everything for this whole time. Alright, so those are the things that you're going to need to pre-cut. You are going to need some wet glue. I have my art glitter glue here. What I'm using this for is to adhere my little flowers or decorations. I'm also going to be using Scor Tape. I have a 1/4 inch here and a 1/2 inch here. You can use wet glue. I just prefer tape, and I'm more comfortable with tape, so I tend to use this a lot more. However, if you want to make this with wet glue, it is possible. You can totally use that if you're more comfortable with it. You are also going to need some sort of corner rounder. So like this one is a 1-inch corner rounder. I'm not going to use this. I am going to use a shortcut just to make this go a little bit faster. I have the gift bag punch board by We Are Memory Keepers, and this happens to be just the perfect size for rounding the corners and for making these little tabs. You do not have to have this punch board. You can always just cut it and use a corner rounder. You do not have to have this punch board. I do, however, find it much faster and easier to use this, so I will be using this. You will also be needing a scoreboard. I have this giant one. Hopefully I'll be able to fit it in the screen, but you will be needing that as well. And of course, your little tools of the trade. You're going to need a bone folder and, things of that nature, the things you typically would always use. So, those are the things you're going to need. Again, I'll show you these sizes as I'm clearing the area out. So, 3-inch circle to 2.5-inch circle, 6 flowers, 6 mats that are 1 3/8 by 3.5. Remember to keep them in order. and then the body, which is 6.5 by 10.5. And I will share the score information with you when we get to the scoring. So I'm going to set all of this stuff kind of out of the way, and we're going to start with the body. I have my scoreboard here. Put that in there. We are going to start on the long side. So here is the scoring information for the long side. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set that down up here so that I can see it. The cardstock that I'm using is really, really thick, and it has kind of a texture to it. So you're going to see me go over the same lines multiple times to make sure I get the score correct. Because it likes to jump and, you know, not always fun scoring this paper. But I love this paper. It holds up really well. So we're going to score at 1 5/8. And then again at 3 1/4. Alright, so that was 3 1/4. And then 4 7/8. And 6.5. 8 1/8. And then 9 3/4. Okay, take that off. We're going to switch to the short side. And on the short side, we're going to score at 1 3/8, and then we're going to flip it to the other short side and score again at 1 3/8. Let's see, 1 3/8. And then flip it around, and 1 3/8. All right, there we go. Okay, so we are going to take this piece that we just scored. Now, if you are just using scissors and a corner rounder, what you're going to do is each of these little score lines is where you're going to cut up to that horizontal score line. So you cut up to the horizontal, and then each of these corners here you would round. And that will give you this kind of flap. So you're going to do that to both long sides. I'm going to use a shortcut and use my little gift bag punch board. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to line it up with this line right here and this little tab thing. I'm going to line that up there and punch. And then I'm going to line up the score line with that. And then I get my little tab. So I'm going to do that all the way. I'm going to do this entire side right here and this entire side right here. Okay, so you have this short little edge here. What we're going to do is we're going to cut, we're going to make a notch. So we're going to cut from there to there. Alright, there we go. So, what we are going to do is we are going to put on our little pieces, our little mats. So, I'm going to turn this. It's easier for me, like if you have a pattern on here where you can definitely tell the top to the bottom, it might be easier to put them on in this angle. This really doesn't matter. So, for me, in order to get it centered and straight, I have a better time doing it this way. So I have pre-taped these so that it would shorten the time of this video a little bit and you wouldn't have to watch me taping forever and a year. There's still going to be more taping, but hopefully this kind of... And that was a little off center. Oh well, that's okay. So what I'm going to do with the next one is I'm going to try to keep this little line here straight. Because this is my top and this is my bottom. There we go. Alright, there we go. So that's all on there. Now I'm going to put tape on this tab right here. I'm going to use 1/2 inch tape. Now I want the edge of this tape to be right along that score line there. Right there like that. If you want to, you can add a little bit more here. I have 1/8 inch tape, but that is up to you. It's just how secure you want that edge to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, here comes some of the fun stuff. So like I said, this is my top here. So I want to remember that this is my top. I am going to turn this over, just like this. That is still my top, right? Top right there. And this is my bottom. What I'm going to do on the bottom, or actually, I'm going to do the top first. So we're going to do this part first. If it is easier, turn it around. But again, make sure you remember this is the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wet glue here and clean off the pin. And I am going to put dots of glue on here. And I'm going to put all of my little decorations on here. Now you can do this afterwards. I just find it easier to do it now at this point before everything's been folded. Alright, so there's all my flowers on the top row. I'm going to let this all kind of set so it doesn't move around too much. While I'm letting that set, I'm going to do the taping down here. So I'm going to put 2 strips of tape, one along the bottom edge here and one sort of in the middle. I do not want tape in this whole area. So we're just going to do right along the bottom. And then again towards the middle. And I'm going to do that to each one of these. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these and I'm going to push them in this way, and I'm going to burnish it. And crease all of these so that they're all folded this way or in towards the inside. Right there like that. Okay. And now I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to do all of these. right like that. I'm going to kind of let those relax a little bit, and now I'm going to start folding all of these guys. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take these off. And I still managed to get it backwards. Still managed to get the flowers on the bottom and the tape on the top, but that's alright. It's not going to do any harm. No one's going to notice. It's just my own brain that's like, wait a minute. Alright, so if you had these going in one direction, you need to make sure the flowers are on the correct direction. So, just saying, I kind of screwed that part up, but no one's going to tell with all of these little guys. Alright, so now we've got this kind of sort of taken shape. We have these pieces that kind of go out like that. So it's still a little wonky. So you need to take your little jar, take the top off of it, like that, and set that aside. Okay, so this jar has a lip on it, and it is a little bit narrow at the bottom, or more narrow at the bottom than it is at the top. So the top is definitely wider. So that's just to let you know, it's going to feel a little loose at first. So we're going to put it upside down, and we're going to take the top of this and put that right over just like that. Open these up so that we have a little bit of room here to look. Alright, this is where our circles come in. Got our 2.5 inch and our 3 inch. This 2.5 inch, I've already pre-taped the back. If you have like a stamp or a label or anything like that for your business, this is the perfect place to put it, and now is the time to do it. So if you wanted to put like your business name or something on here, right there would be perfect. So there's a 2.5 inch circle, and here's a 3 inch circle. The 3 inch circle does not have any tape or anything on it. This is only going to be used just to help this keep kind of the roundish shape. Now again, like I said, this is just a little bit too big, but it will help keep the shape. So we're going to push that down in there so that is pushed down deep inside. And we're going to take all of our little backings off of our tape all the way around. Okay, so make sure that that is pushed down in there. So we're going to find the seam, which for me it's right there. And I'm going to start at this one. So there's my seam right there. I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to keep that circle pushed in there as best as I can and kind of bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to push that one down. And then I'm going to come around. Stay. Stay inside. Okay. Then I'm going to come around and just go all the way around. Right there like that. And it's going to kind of resist a little bit because that circle is a little bit too big. There we go. But it's going to help it keep its shape and not get like squished in one way or the other. Alright, so now that is there. Now we're going to take our smaller circle and we're going to take the back of this right here. I'm going to place that right on top, just like that. Press that down onto that glass jar, and we're going to flip that over, and there you have it. There is your little jar holder. So you can see it got a little bit squished inside of there, but that's going to help keep the jar still, because if you notice, this is a little like loose. It feels a little loose on there, but I couldn't get this any tighter because of the lip here. So It is a little loose, or it feels a little loose, but it's actually pretty stable. So, there's your little jar. If you wanted to taper these down or tack these down, now would be the time to do it. And that way it's still within its shape. Okay, let's put some pencils in. And there you have it. There's your little pencil holder. Alright guys, tell me what you think. Let me know if you like this idea. Leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Come check out the Facebook page or our website. Subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks guys. Bye.